Today, guys, I'm going to talk about Into the Light. Now, I have not looked at any leaks. I am purely speculating right now. And granted, we're going to know more in the live stream next week. With that being said, though, from this picture and based on some of the information Bungie's given us in the most recent TWID, I want us to kind of run with speculation on this because I assumed, and I think many of you probably assumed, that this was going to be some sort of like public event or like, you know, some reprised activity we've had in the past. You know, Into the Light, some people even speculated it was just going to be like a rerun of like campaign missions. But the fact that they hinted here that this is new, deliver new game content, which let's just take a step back and just be like, wow, we're at the point now where we're just super excited when we get something new in Destiny. I wanted to sit down and just look at this image though and speculate with you guys on what this activity could be. I think we need to first point out the weapons though that are being held here. Okay, a lot of people are saying this weapon right here being held by the hunter is Midnight Coup. This weapon right here, people are saying is Blast Furnace. And if you actually scroll down to this, y'all are saying that this right here, what is this? The Black Armory look. What was that look on the Black Armory weapons, guys? It's the wave of the shader that was on the Black Armory weapons. That wavy texture, right? Now, everyone's saying this is Midnight Coup, and it could be, but as someone who has had to say goodbye to their god roll Palindrome, I think I would know what Palindrome looks like. This looks like Palindrome to me. The only reason why I feel like it can't be Palindrome is because I feel like Palindrome would come back as a Nightfall, it would be a Nightfall, like it was an Adept drop from the Nightfalls. And to put it in this, maybe not that people wouldn't be hyped. It's the Black Veteran shader we got. All right, well, look, this would make sense. We just did an entire video talking about the ornaments, you know, Recluse also, and Hammerhead. We already speculated that those weapons were going to be coming back, and the Black Armory's weapons included in that, which is kind of wild that that's going to be in just this free, by the way, free update that's going to be Into the Light. But the other speculation is that this is going to be a true horde mode game mode. I don't know how it can be, because like when you look at the artwork here, you see the pyramid ships above us, but this goes against what happened in Lightfall. All the pyramid ships went inside of the Traveler, or at least we think all of the pyramid ships went inside the Traveler. If anything, this artwork represents essentially what we hoped Lightfall would have been, being that city under siege, or entirety of planet Earth under siege, right? The Traveler under siege versus the 1v1 we had with the Witness and the Traveler in outer space. Only 8 ships went inside the Traveler. Really? Why 8? How did you come up with, Nance, how did you come up with only 8? Hold on. I gotta look real quick. Everyone's saying that only 8 went in there. All right, well, let me watch this. This is the end of Lightfall. This is when stuff gets real.
The universe makes us all victim and perpetrator. Life's infinite cruelty. You, more than any, suffer both fates. Be free.
Okay, all right, back up real quick.
Be free.
All right, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. All right, you guys are right. So you're telling me only 8 pyramid ships went into the Traveler? Well, there's obviously like way more pyramid ships than that. Where are they? Why have we been hanging out in the solar system for a year? What are the other ships doing? I swear, I feel like nothing this year matters. Nothing this past year matters. It's like I feel like this is Naruto all over again, where it was just like season after season of filler. But we've had that for the past year. Essentially, this moment, you remember the very beginning of Lightfall where the helm gets hit and this thing shuts, like the helm, the armor shuts on the helm and then it opens back up. This should have all been one big expansion. Then the witness would have actually invaded the traveler, and then the 8 pyramid ships would have went in with him, and then it would have been the entire pyramid armada that then will begin their siege on everything in our system, which I think is what really brings us to Into the Light. I think this is really what's happening. But the problem is it's disjointed because the past year it's been like we're figuring out how to get inside the traveler, right? And then on top of that, we don't see the pyramid ships, we don't feel under siege. I'm hoping Into the Light really sells it. Those are discipleships. Okay, I like where you're going with this. Hold on. This is definitely not, we've moved away from speculation right now on Into the Light. We're going to come right back. But you guys are saying that each one of these ships will represent a disciple that we will have to take on in the final shape, working our way to the witness. Is that what you guys are saying? That would be sick. That would be dope. Can you imagine 8 roguelike disciples we have to deal with on the way to the witness? Imagine all 8 of them you have to fight in the raid. The raid is 9 encounters. There's no way Bungie would do that. But imagine if it was 9 encounters. Bungie increases the time frame it takes to do a day 1 raid. They're like, hey, we know this is a bit more difficult, so we're giving you 72 hours. I know. It's a lot of cope right now. All right. Well, that makes sense. The problem is if you've been playing Destiny for the past year, you're just like, you look at the artwork and you're like, dude, where is this siege coming from? Because we haven't seen it. You know what I mean? But that's what appears to be what's going on here with Into the Light. All right. So speculation that it's going to be a horde mode of some sort. We're fighting Hive right here. I don't know if this is necessarily like Zivu's forces. I don't know how that's going to be tied in. The thing with Season of the Witch, which was really confusing to me, we thought we were going to have this powwow moment where we were going to take on Zivu Wrath leading up to dealing with the witness in the final shape. That did not happen. It's very obvious, at least from what we've seen, that Heresy will be this season or the episode that we finally deal with Zivu Wrath, and everything we did in Season of the Witch was set up for that. Any idea who these Hive are being led by? Could it be Zivu's forces? Either way. We still have to kill Zivu Wrath? Right, but we don't have to kill Zivu Wrath. Guys, I'm telling you, I would be so surprised if we actually take on Zivu Into the Light and before we actually take on the witness. Everything from Season of the Witch is leading up to us dealing with Zivu in the Heresy episode. Again, and just like Season of the Witch, a lot of things are set up for what's to come in episodes. Now, again, so weapons here. Everyone's saying 100% Midnight Coup. Blast Furnace, which would make sense with the Black Armor weapons. That looks like Falling Guillotine right there. And the turrets, by the way, are Vanguard turrets, if you see. You know, maybe there's some horde mode where we're actually like setting up like almost tower defense here. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That's the Destiny 1 tower behind us, right? Is it fully rebuilt right here? See, look at the peaks, guys. Look at the peaks. This is how you know. I mean, look, it's kind of jarring because we've been watching the Destiny 1 tower being rebuilt now for, Jesus, how many years now? 5 years, right? There has to be a reason Bungie gives you the tower with the collector's edition in the final shape. Oh my God, do they really? Hold up. Where is this? If I was going to order the collector's edition. Oh my God, it is the tower. That is very expensive, but it does look like a nice tower. Now, listen, hold on. Before we get too carried away, we've already seen the Destiny 1 tower in the Into the Light VIDOC, okay? But what if the Destiny 1 tower gets rebuilt like in this reality? Oh my God, man, I am in Cope land right now. What if we get to move to the new or to the old tower, the Destiny 1 tower in the Into the Light update? I know, I'm just saying, it's rebuilt right here. And as we're defending it, it's being rebuilt. Keep smoking. All right. Okay, fine. Something I put out. I just find it very, very odd that the D1 towers in the collector's edition, it's right here in the artwork. Do we have to wait till less than a month? No, we have to wait until next Tuesday. Bungie's going to be doing their reveal stream, guys, and we're going to get 3 of them. Let me also say this, and we mentioned it yesterday in the TWID. The fact that Bungie's given us 3 streams to show off just this update makes me think this has got to be a big update. 3 streams. They could have easily just, you know, if it was just some, hey, here's an activity, 1 stream would suffice. But the fact that they're showing us 3 and they're mentioning it's 3 to show off Into the Light. Or they're desperate. I love a desperate Bungie. The last time I saw Bungie desperate was right after Curse of Osiris. I specifically remember being at Bungie. I could see it in the eyes. But not only were they desperate, they were motivated. It was truly you gotta pop off or everything's gonna die situation. And then we had Warmind, and then we had Forsaken. They could also just be giving a little more information about the final shape. Well, right here, the first live stream will take place 10 a.m. on March the 19th, of which we will be live for. The next two will air March the 26th and April the 2nd. All right, so this, you can start to see Destiny 2 Into the Light, what it's all about. And not one, not two, but 3 live streams. Guys, this is all focused on Into the Light. This is not, hey, this first stream is going to be showing Into the Light. The second one, we're going to show some narrative stuff, and then Vidoc stuff, and then final shape stuff. Everything here is showing just Into the Light for the next 3 streams, which means at the end of April, going into May, we're probably still going to get our final shape stuff. We're going to get our Vidocs and everything else. But that's why I'm thinking this update can't be a small update. It's got to be a sizable one. And personally, I thought we were just going to get like what we did last year with Season of the Seraph, where we just kind of ran around and did those modified public events. I thought that's what we were going to get, but it does not appear that way. The other question is, do you think the final shape got pushed back because Bungie knew they needed an update like this Into the Light to get people on board for the annual expansion? Or do you think they push things back to work on final shape more? I think both. I think one of the most incredible things here is that they're making this entire thing free. And look, they obviously needed to do that. But I was concerned they were going to come in here with like a 30th anniversary situation and be like, yeah, here's this stuff, this new stuff you could play with. Now give us money, especially considering all the stuff we've heard about them missing revenue thresholds and whatnot. Why does the Destiny community have such a hard time managing their expectations, or is cross-trolling? Stigma, I don't really understand that, the whole managing expectations. I don't really understand that. I've never played a single thing inside of Destiny and thought to myself, wow, because I came in here with such level-headed expectations, this was good content. It's very black and white for me. It either wows me or it doesn't. There have been times in the past where things have just wowed me. For instance, and it could be small things, but for instance, the space traversal section of Deepstone Crypt, that was a moment that just solidified Beyond Light for me, right? It was like, oh my God, this is incredible. I'm already enjoying the lore behind Stasis. I'm getting behind the narrative. Europa could be a little bit better, but that was a defining moment. And there was other things that were involved in that, music too and everything else. But I didn't enjoy Deepstone Crypt in that setting and that immersion because I came in there with like, okay, I need to lower my expectations. It never worked for me like that. I didn't enjoy Vow of the Disciple day one and Rogue absolutely smashing us because my expectations were lower. It's when the developers exceed any expectations we could have ever had for ourselves. The moment Bungie says, hey, you can not only hold a shotgun in your energy slot, you can hold one in your kinetic slot. As a matter of fact, you can hold one in your heavy slot. You want to rock Acreus and 2 shotguns, rock triple shotguns? You can. You have that freedom. It's exceeding those expectations and whatever those expectations are. And that's the thing. I've never ever set a benchmark for myself really mentally on it's just when Bungie comes out and they wow, we know it. We just know it. It's also just innovation. If there's one thing Bungie has been lacking on, they've kind of gone into the same cookie cutter model now for the past 2-3 years, and we've just had a lack of innovation. There's just not been something that has wowed us or really intrigued us or shook things up. I would say the big start of that has actually been the Crucible update here recently by changing the health pools. That's a huge shakeup. That's the biggest sandbox shakeup we have gotten inside of Crucible since Forsaken. And I know we have not necessarily gotten a bunch of updates inside of Forsaken, but it's innovation that Bungie's doing here. And when we talked about our most recent video, whether it was like the red subclass or what Bungie's gonna have to do to wow us going into the final shape, innovation was that top thing. That thing that we ourselves as the community, we couldn't even conceive. And that's where Bungie as the creators of Destiny come into play. They make it for us, right? They innovate for us and they go, hey, here's this new thing that you never expected, and we get wowed and dazzled for another year. Was Riven's wishes good content? In my opinion, no. All the more reason why Into the Light has got to be good. But Riven's wishes was essentially just riding on old content that we've already done. Now, here is what I do believe we need to temper some expectations. I have people commenting that Into the Light is going to be everything Bungie has ever sunset that they're bringing back into the game. To hold up on that. I don't believe that's going to happen. Now, I definitely come out and said that I believe the Whisper mission could be coming back because I saw Whisper the Worm, but even that could be wrong. But to believe everything that has ever been sunset is going to make its way back into the game right before the final shape, when that's going to be a sizable update in itself. Now, that's not to say that old weapons won't return, like Blast Furnace being here in this picture, Black Armory weapon. weapons. But do I suddenly believe Io and Mercury and Tangleshore and all those places are going to suddenly pop up, and every single exotic mission we've ever had in the past is going to pop up? I wish, but it's not going to happen. Do I think Tribute Hall is going to come back? No. I mean, could we see something like something similar to the Tribute Hall in the final shape? I would like to believe so. I would love that, to have that ability to have our own like armory and stuff. Now, look, this is the MMO coming out of me, the MMORPG player coming out of me. I would love if we had this horde mode right here. We're liberating the last city. We're fighting off, you know, these pyramid ships and all these enemies landing on us. It's this horde mode, this defense mode. And then after we've cleared everything in the final shape, we then open up player-owned housing in the last city. Man, can you imagine getting a little loft up here? You know what I'm saying? It could be modest, you know, little 1 bedroom, 1 bath. All right. But you can start hanging up. You put Rolk's head on the wall here, you know, Witness's head, Crota's dick. You know, the point is, am I the only one that wants player-owned housing? Am I the only one that wants a crib in the last city? And imagine as you accumulate more glimmer and maybe, I don't know what would the currency be to acquire your own home. But imagine if you got enough dough, enough currency, whatever that may be, and you could buy an outright town. Because there's towers literally lining all around, surrounding the last city. Just go play RuneScape? No, if I wanted to go, if I was talking from a RuneScape perspective, we would have construction as a skill, and I would build bookshelves from now until level 92. I would ask for boxing arenas and portals that can instantly bring me to and from different parts of the solar system, including the travel. But I'm not going that far, fellas. I'm simply asking for some player-owned houses with a sex dungeon. I think that's an easy thing to include. Imagine having your own house, and right behind it, you can have your own pond, and you can fish in your own pond. I don't know, dude. I know. It's like, Cross, what kind of game do you think this is? I'm just saying, that would be amazing. Again, I have not looked at any of the leaks. I'm not going to look at the leaks. Last thing I want to mention, I made a couple of jokes yesterday and said that this green represents Strand and the red represents the red subclass. Let me be real, guys. I highly doubt we're going to get a red subclass for the final shape. I would love it if we did, but I highly doubt it. Also, this green right here, people are saying it's the insignia of the Concordat. Am I saying that right? It's the faction that gave us the skimmers, though. If you don't know what that is, brush up on Bife, guys. We watched a video here recently on it. It's really, really good, but it's the guys that gifted us the skimmer, or at least gave it to Eva, who then gave it to us with a new paint job. Does anybody else know anything else about this insignia, though? Oh, their insignia is a green fist? Wow, so you're telling me somebody gave me false information? Okay, so what does this represent? Nothing. It represents nothing. All right, well, what does this represent? Someone said the outbreak mission. Again, I don't want to look at any of the leaks, guys. I don't want to look at any of the leaks. I like to be surprised. I do. I like to look at the reveal stuff with you guys. The green one's called Those Held Dear, and the red one's called Echo Diamond. There's a Reddit post about Echo Diamond from 2 years ago. Ray Secrets looked it up, found nothing conclusive. Can you drop me the Reddit post for Ray? No one reaches harder than the average D2 player. You know, I can agree with that, but then we have moments in the past, the Corridors of Time and Niobe Labs, where it's like, it deserves that reach. You know what I mean? Bizarre emblem in the database. I haven't seen anyone talk about this, but there's an emblem called Echo Diamond in the database that piqued my curiosity and made my mind run wild thinking of the possibilities the emblem could be attached to. The source of it states unlocked by a special offer, but sometimes the source is subject to change, especially if they wanted to keep something a surprise for the future. For me, this gives off an end of season event vibe. Dude, this is a Reddit post from 3 years ago, and something could potentially happen either during the Guardian Games closing ceremony or just before the Witch Queen lands. The emblem itself has a deep red foreboding tone. There's some weird alchemical markings on the left side of it, and the whole design philosophy of it looks to be a timer below and a transponder above of some sort. My best guess is this could be for an event where the helm takes off out of the hangar and flies away from the tower. This could be to either unveil the old tower, which has been in reconstruction phase when Beyond Light launched, or as an emergency response where we could be invaded by Savathun's forces or the Darkness Sports. Again, this is 3 years ago. This has been analyzed before, but the helm is very likely an emergency transport vessel that can be relocated wherever necessary. Please tell me your thoughts, as I like to see them. Dude, dude. Okay, there's so many things that this post got right. The helm did in fact take off. This is leading up to Season of the Witch though. Not Season of the Witch, Witch Queen. And that's why I was saying be invaded by Savin's forces. So instead of saying being invaded by Savin's forces, we're being invaded by, I guess, Sivu's forces or, you know, the Witness's forces. But right here, the fact that they nailed it could potentially happen either during the Guardian Game's closing ceremony or just before, in this case, the final shape launch. This is being Into the Light. My man was cooking 3 years ago. Who did this? Chester, I think you were on to something though, brother. I think you were cooking way before your time. And guess what? You probably didn't get the appreciation you deserved. But yeah, the thing that he's alluding to right here, the helm is already taken off. This right here, this could be either to unveil the old tower, which has been in reconstruction phase when Beyond Light launched. There it is. There it is, guys. I don't think I need to spell it out anymore for you. We're going back to the D1 tower. And I know you're like, Cross, we already saw it in the Vidoc. Of course we are. No, not just in the Traveler. IRL. It is time to move back home. I don't know what we're going to do with the D2 tower, but we're going to the D1 tower. The Destiny 1 tower is way prettier. Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. I like the Destiny 2. I like them both. I think the Destiny 1 tower was prettier. But the Destiny 2 tower, I like where Ada is. I like where Drifter is. But Amanda died there, and we gotta, you know, remember her, if you even remember her when you walk past her to go to Saint, or where she used to be. Would you guys prefer the D1 tower or the D2 tower? Can we get a poll on this? Would you prefer the Destiny 1 tower or the Destiny 2 tower? Hold on, let me give you a reminder. Let me give you a reminder because I feel like it's necessary to kind of get a brief look here of the towers here. Okay, so this is the Destiny 1 tower, right? You know, it's a very spacious location. It's got, oh my God, it is a sexy place. It is a sexy place. I'm not saying the D2 tower isn't sexy, but you got Banshee right there, the Eververse store. You got your vault locations right here. Your gunsmith over there to the right. Destiny 1 tower was better in a lot of aspects, but D2 had a lot of cool Easter eggs in it. D2 tower did have a lot of cool Easter eggs. Then you had Zavala's office and everything, right? This is the area. This was such a beautiful area that I felt like Bungie didn't utilize that well. I mean, you had like Ironbender stuff here, but this is such a beautiful area up here. How could you not want to? I mean, holy shit, dude. We downgraded so hard from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. I mean, this is beautiful. This feels like a true social area. 17% say they still would rather the Destiny 2 tower. 83% say the Destiny 1 tower. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't think you could keep both. The question is the D1 tower going to be big enough? But you know what? Here's the other thing, guys. Here's a way to make sure that the Destiny 1 tower would be big enough. Just kill off all the main characters in the final shape campaign. You know, problem solved. And then you don't have to worry about it if we have enough spots here. And it's a good chance. I mean, at least I'm assuming at least some of them are going to die. Oh my God, icebreaker. Look at that. Guys, you don't think icebreaker's ever going to come back to the game, do you? I feel like it would. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a special weapon. It would break PvP. I don't know, guys. We could very well go back. Oh my God. And you know, I've even talked about the return of factions with the Concordat, with the skimmers that we were recently gifted with from that faction. What if the return to the Destiny 1 tower also means return of factions? And it would make sense. Back to what we were saying. Do I think we're going to be going back to the D1 tower? I think it's kind of an easy layup for Bungie at this point. They've already rebuilt it. It's going to be in the game no matter what. It's going to be in the game in terms of inside of the Traveler itself from what we've seen. And so, yeah, I think it would be an easy asset for Bungie to take advantage of and would onboard a lot of probably veteran players. You know, you're like, hey, we're going back to the old tower. So it could definitely work. We'll see though.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.